That was real good. So if you, it's not shooting today. We're a week late because you're watching it a week late. But it is our producer's birthday, and we want to welcome you all to this week's episode. I'm not even gonna try to say a number because I get it wrong every week.
This 8, 6, or 7.
No,
it's gotta be like 8.
9.
I'm always on.
I say 8. It's 8.
I was right. We should have put some money on it.
Okay, so welcome to episode 8 of Technically Speaking with DTL. I'm Jillian.
I'm Alesheia.
I'm Jasmine.
And as you see, we have a guest today. We're going to let him introduce himself.
We welcome you. I'm sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Williams. I work over here in the Career Center. Definitely looking forward to introducing myself and speaking with the ladies here today.
All right, awesome. And if you don't know, we are at Shaw University, and we are talking about, we've been doing a little series about, getting ready, what you need to do next. We talked to seniors, we've talked to each other, we've talked about being black at work, and now today's episode, we are talking about being ready for the world. I graduated, now what? So we're bringing in David's expertise and point of view into this conversation because, that's what he does. So Shaw students, you're supposed to be over there going to see him.
You definitely need to be over there. Right. You have not already. You should even be a senior to come see us. If you're a freshman and feel like you need to figure out what's going on.
Yes, untapped resource.
That's an open invitation right there.
Grooming.
Right.
Grooming. When you get somebody when they first come in, you go up there, first come in. So it's not odd. When you're a senior, you're like, okay, so I need some help. Well, it's probably easier though. Like if I know you, I know your personality. I've worked with you over time, so I know the careers that's best for you. So companies that may be best for you, or some of the things that you're looking for that you. I mentioned I was having a conversation on Friday, but it's kind of like the unexpressed need. So you know what their unexpressed needs are, and you can help them to apply to places that actually fit them. So I can see how that can help them with their next steps if they go starting when they're barely stepping in as a freshman.
The more you come to me and Ms. Hedgebeth over in the Career Center, the more we can help you and get your goals going. I know right now everybody's trying to figure out what you want to do, how you want to get there, and that is what we're here to do, to make sure that you get where you need to go. I mean, it's so many different steps that you guys can take. It's so many different things that you guys can do. First of all, you always got to believe that you can do it. So let's start right there. It's nothing that you cannot do. Even right now, if you don't have the skills, right now, that's why we're helping you get those internships and help you find things that can help you move on down the line. So please do not be afraid to come to us. Like I say, even as freshmen right now, you're just coming in, getting your feet wet. But you know what? We can make sure that you graduate here and you can be very comfortable in finding out what you want after you graduate. So.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the internships?
So for the internships, I mean, they have internships with pretty much everything. We actually just had one this past week, I would say, with the state of North Carolina. And so all you have to do is just apply. They have so many different HBCU initiatives that all you have to do is just apply. Of course, they may ask for certain GPAs, they may ask for certain criteria, but if you don't have it right now, that does not mean that you cannot get it done. So like I said, for any major that you guys have, we have plenty of internships. You just got to come over here and check us out. Also, one thing that we're using is we're using a program called Handshake. And so Handshake, you can go over and put up your resume, and it pretty much matches you with internships. It is a very good program that you can use. And also, we send you guys out specific internships for your area or anything. So, one thing I know that I want to try to do in the fall is get with the library staff, because I've been doing the Tuesday talks, just talking to people about why you should do internships, because internships is very important and everyone should at least do one. It
What's
gets
the
you job
difference
experience.
between an internship and an externship?
Okay.
I've never heard the word externship.
I've heard it more so when I was in corporate. Like people would mention externships, or even for those people, and this may be even for alumni who are watching, but if you were missing from the workplace, say you had a child, they're starting to do these things now where you can, I don't want to say recidivize yourself back in, because that's a term for people who are formerly justice involved, but kind of assimilate yourself back into the workforce after being at home. But back to the question, what's the difference between an internship and an externship?
Okay, so like you pretty much said, the externship is you pretty much just explained. So pretty much you're trying to get yourself back into the work world and get yourself, if you've been kind of having hiatus for a while. For internships, it's for those students in that's right here in college right now that's trying to get that extra experience so they can go out there and work the world. Everyone needs experience. You know, you cannot do anything without having experience. Yes, you're getting a great college education here, but you also need some work experience that can put you right in there. I've had students working in the past that have done internships and they have found jobs right after,
That's great.
the internship that they're working with, they're actually getting a job with them because they have shown great work ethic. We have a lot of great students here. They have a lot of great work ethic, but you just need to be able to show an employer what you can do.
Where are you from?
Okay.
I'm originally from Atlanta.
Oh, okay. This is not a North Carolina. It's not the North Carolina skirt. So I was like, what?
Well, it's a North Carolina skirt.
You got one?
Do I?
Josh has one.
People tell me all the time though they can't tell where I'm from.
I can tell, but I know that's like a Georgia, Mississippi, and maybe even an Atlanta thing. They got a little bit of.
I mean, you do sound a little
Okay,
different, but I don't know if
yeah.
I would have pegged it, like where you were
I
from.
think in my next lifetime, I might try to do like the speech path thing or something because I can really hear people's accent. It just tears me up. Not in a bad way, though. Not in a bad way.
Everybody say that. But since I've been here, I've been in North Carolina since about '98, so
It ain't
it's
going
kind of
nowhere.
been a mix between the two right now.
It ain't going nowhere. It's still
It
there.
ain't going nowhere. It is what it is.
It's still there.
Yeah.
I'm weak.
Oh.
Go ahead, Jay.
You said you do a Tuesday talk. What is that about?
So the library here at Shaw University has a Tuesday talk where they bring in different people. This semester I actually did two Tuesday talks. One I did one on interviewing, and I think the other one was on getting ready for their careers. And so the Tuesday talks with the library, they have different topics. I know they've had somebody in from the bank to do something. We've had a couple professors do things too as well. So it's just to give students some information about different topics. I know one that I've already talked to them about is why should students do internships. That's one I want to start off in September when we get back in the fall.
That would be
Okay.
great.
So they graduated, May has come. I've graduated. I may have done what I was supposed to and went to the Career Center and, did everything I need to do. I got my resume, I got my, mock interviews in, or I may have not.
Okay.
So what do I want to do? Like, I know we had a whole lot of conversations about, getting a professional headshot so you can have a LinkedIn profile, making sure you do have a resume because those things are a necessity. Dressing to impress, what does that look? So what are some things you think they could take with them, whether they did what they were supposed to do or not? Took the...
Well, one thing that's important that I think students should always do, and I talk to a lot of students about it now, is always sitting down and having a 2, 5, and 10 year plan. You should have some kind of plan of what you want to do and how you want to get there. Looking at the skills that you already have. Know that here in the Career Center, we're always here to help you even once you become an alumni. Things that will help you, like she said, is making sure that you have a resume, making sure that you have done those mock interviews. If you have not done them this semester, that's fine. You can reach out to us any point in time, and me and Ms. Hedge have to be more than happy to help them out. Making sure that your resume is ready to go. Making sure that you are going on LinkedIn and making sure your profile is up to date, because I talk to a lot of students and their profile is not. And also Handshake too as well. Handshake is there to help them find internships, find networking. If you are looking for something in your field, you need to make sure that you are networking. Networking is important. Again,
talk about that though.
Hey, it's who you know a lot of times and not necessarily what you know.
Yeah.
But you can learn so many different things. Like, for example, we actually had a guy here from Cisco here a couple weeks ago, and he actually was talking to the students and he said, hey, look me up on LinkedIn once you start applying. So, hey, things like that, being able to network with someone and say, hey, I met you at such and such. Hey, can you help me do this and this? So, think about it is just necessarily coming to the Career Center. We are here to help you even once you become an alumni to try to figure out what you want to do. It's just so many things you want to do. Like I said, just starting off with that 2, 5, and 10 year plan.
I never heard of a 2 year. Like,
I haven't
usually they
either.
say 5 and 10. So I like that.
But yeah, 2 years,
5,
5,
10.
yeah.
Well, I say 2 year because 5 years is a long time, but you
Ooh,
also
I
want
like
to have
it.
those short goals that you want to meet. Of course, you want to have those long term goals. With the short term goals, like something simple like maybe you want to get married, or maybe you want to have your own place, or maybe you want to get a car. Of course, the short term goal for recent graduates is always going to be I want to find a job.
Yes.
So yes, you want to try to find something in your career, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But be open to any opportunity. Sometimes when you get a degree, they just looking for people that have a degree, and you can start working towards finding something in your career later on if that's the case. But of course, everyone wants to find something in their career.
So one thing I think that people don't realize we have here on campus is people say, I want to go to a job, I want to get a job, right? And then I realize, like, I I can't go to work. Well, I wouldn't go to an interview wearing this, right? So we have to talk about what do you wear?
I'm
And a
cute.
lot of people will say, yeah, she's cute. She has on black, so
Right.
I would definitely wear this to an interview.
I wouldn't wear this. I mean, it does represent my personality, and I am in a different field, so I am in tech, so they're not always as stringent. I think it depends on the company you're applying for, or the role you're applying for.
Yeah.
But I think that's one thing we really have to talk about with our students.
Yes.
And it's not just to say Shaw students, but I've seen it for students who are just in this generation period. So there's nothing wrong with wearing flats, but some people would say, look, I don't even like to wear heels, but on an interview, if I'm going in person, I will wear heels. Now, if I fall and I slide across the floor, maybe they'll feel sorry for me.
They'll remember
They'll never forget
Oh
me.
yeah, that's the girl that failed. She should have practiced. There are levels to this.
But she knew her stuff, though.
But she did.
you know, one thing is we do have here on campus, we do have a closet that people can use. But also, I think people can, don't forsake, I know it's COVID or whatever, but if you can get to a laundromat, you can go to the, what is it called? Goodwill or something like that, and actually get some pieces. I know that you can go in there and tell them that you're going for an interview, especially Goodwill. And they will help you put together some things as well. So, can you talk about the...
You say K&G's?
Yes, I've actually been there, and I've been in a program of previous colleges I was with, and they had pretty much said they come in there and said they're doing something for the interviews, some kind of discount they give.
And
Yes.
look, now,
H&M is
Yeah.
now
Renting
doing a
suits.
program where you can rent a suit for 24 hours.
Wow.
And I want to say, I don't want to give false information, but it's little to nothing that you can do. So that you go in, they give you a suit, you say, you know, I'm trying to get a job,
Got
and
an
they
interview.
will hook you up with a suit, and then you can, you
let me
have to bring it
just
back.
Say this.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm in this group on Facebook. It's called Black Career Network. And I probably shouldn't. Well, it's not a private group. It's called Black Career Network.
Okay.
So we've seen a couple of times where people say the person has on a suit, right?
Okay.
So I've never understood what's the difference between a suit is a suit, right? Wrong. They say, please do not come in there wearing a Steve Harvey style suit.
Okay.
They have roasted people.
Yes. So, okay, I definitely want to speak on that.
Okay, let him have it.
Real quick, okay.
Yeah, so of course, I mean, you want to come in there with like neutral colors. You want to come in there with black, gray, you want navy, you know. You don't want to go in there with no green suit. You don't want to go in there with no red suit. Please don't go in there with no blue suit. And I love blue. But never in the world would you ever go in there and do that. But you just want to wear new, like for instance, when for awards day, I came in here with a black suit. I had my white shirt on and my blue tie. Of course, I came with my black shoes. I wanted to wear my brown shoes, but my foot was hurt. But you know, you want to make the best representation of yourself. One thing that I tell students: if you dress to impress and you dress as if you are going somewhere else later on. You know, when you go to certain places, you want to make sure that you carry yourself in a way that they'll take you seriously. Let's say if you come into a classroom and you see a substitute that's not dressed up, are you going to take them seriously?
I love because I'm just imagining somebody looking like that on the Easter Sunday.
I've done
I
that.
have
This
seen
one we
that.
sit across the table from each other. They done messed up the seating arrangement, and now I can't get myself.
No matter what she was.
But yes,
have
neutrals.
seen that,
Can you
yes.
show your personality in your tie though, or should your tie not be loud either?
I say your tie should not be loud as well.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I always keep it solid, or maybe keep a striped tie. I don't do all different kind of color ties. Some people like it, some people don't. Also depends on the industry too as well. Of course, you never wear sneakers. I actually went into an interview one time and I actually had somebody had on a hoodie, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, we've had that
We
experience.
have had that experience. Jesus.
So one thing I also want to talk about right now is also in the virtual world too as well. Because sometimes we get in the virtual world and some of the students don't realize that yes, you are still on the interview even though you are in the virtual world. So at least between your head and at least your waist, you should be ready to go. You should
So
be
they got on
letting
balling
them know you're ready to
shorts
go.
Long as
with their tie and button up.
If they don't see your balling shorts, then you are fine to go.
or your jogger.
Hey, if they don't see those things, then you already, well, you just comfortable.
But you know what? I've seen that and I'm joking, but I still don't recommend doing that because say you have to stand up for something or for
and you forget for
and
just
you
a
forget
minute.
for a second and you stand up and you have on joggers or balling shorts because you was like, oh, they not gonna see.
Right.
And then you're embarrassed.
Can you tell us your outfit? Because it's a sales position, right? So like stand up. Tell us your outfit. All of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, you also got to know what industry you're going into too. So if you're going into a sales position and they're looking for that, just make sure that you are aware of that. But also, something that we forget about is background. So as we've been doing mock interviews, I have noticed with some of our students that they have these filters that are not work appropriate, I'll say that. And you have loud background, or I see people walking past you, or I hear somebody in the background that's like,
Lukey.
So, yeah.
What you doing?
So their attention is taken off of you and it's going directly into whatever's going on in your background. It's not going to put you in a good light.
And you don't have to have a virtual background. Like you could just be against a white wall or something like that. Just make sure that you're
a plane.
Yes.
So we will say this: if you need somewhere to do a virtual interview here at Shaw, you can of course go into the Career Center, but we have a white space in here as well, so you can come use our room. It's a quiet place. We don't have blinds up, but nobody would see you if you turned this way. So that is a place to
blazers
use.
for you guys too as well. Now some of you students have lost your Shaw U blazers. Let's be for real.
But
We can go ahead and make sure that you have one rented from us that you can use if you need a tie, if you need anything for your interviews. We are here to help you. So even if you have questions and you just want to know, hey, how should I look? What do I need to do? Please make sure you contact us over the Career Center.
One thing you also mentioned was networking before I moved to that. So I know that people will say, well, I don't like to go out and meet people, new people technically. But if you've been here on campus, you have a network of people. You have your faculty members as well because they have a network of people. So let's not forget about, I think I spoke about it in another show that we did, was the 6 degrees of separation. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody who can get you where you want to go. But also, if you're Greek, please don't think that you have to stop at your chapter members, right? You have your grad chapter members who are part of who have already assimilated into the workplace or may already have the skills that you need or have the positions that you need or can help you as well. But you can ask your line brothers, you can ask your bigs who can help you get to where you want to go. So I think that's another thing that people can tap into. If you're, I happen to be on a part of a lot of organizations, OES, or Mason or something, you can talk to them. Or if your parents are, they're just like you were trying to get scholarships when you were coming to college, that's the same way you need to be looking for positions, jobs, because you just never know who you can run. Hell, if you get stopped by the cops, hey, y'all hired? What y'all doing? You know what I'm saying?
Before we move into that, we talked about men's dress, but we did not talk about ladies. Like you made the joke about the heels or whatever. But ladies, you have to come. You can't get away with as much as you think you can.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
No cleavage. No cleavage.
There should be no cleavage. There shouldn't. Actually, you shouldn't dress in a way that takes attention away from what you're saying and what you're trying to, present. Like you're trying to be a professional. I don't care if you are going to a job interview at, your local McDonald's. You need to go in there because you never know who you're going to see. So you might be sitting at your interview, you have a suit on, but beside you eating a Big Mac is somebody who's looking for an entry level person. And they're like, oh, but wait. So, you want to make sure that what you're wearing is not distracting.
Eyelashes included.
They should not be
waving
and
at
makeup.
us.
So should I have colorful hair?
Okay, that is definitely
that's a good one.
Hey,
that is a great question. I don't think so. Say you get braids and you have all the neon colors. I do not deem that appropriate for an interview.
I would not hire you.
I would
your
not
hair
hire
is going to take
because I'm
away from your
distracted, right?
job.
Because I'm distracted. So
because I want to know you on a carnival. Where you going?
But
another thing, hair, shoes. If you come in heels and you know they are not your jam, and you have your spare pair of shoes, make sure you leave them tucked away somewhere so that when you're walking around, we don't see your flip-flops hanging out your bag, or you don't have your socks
or
on.
don't wear heels. Y'all, it is
Yes.
not mandated that you wear
Right.
heels. Or if you're wearing heels, they do not have to be 6 inches. Actually, that's not
That's
really
stripperella
professional.
shoes.
not.
We're
That's
not.
not
We're not.
professional.
And even
It
if you
is
are
not.
going for a stripper position, wait until they ask you. Because hey, I'm sorry, let's not say stripper. Excuse me. There's a
Dancers. They're
yes,
called
a
dancers.
dancer. If you're going for a dancing position, you want to wear when they ask you to showcase. Then that's when you put on your shoes. If you, I mean, you don't want to look out of control.
So what about jewelry though?
Okay,
So jewelry.
Jewelry should be simple.
Minimalist.
But no, you were right, because when I was in school many moons ago, you had to have the black suit, the black dress,
Yep.
the string of pearls, a watch, just things. So if nothing else, you had the basics.
Think about it like you're going to an interest meeting.
Now what about
And you
makeup
know.
though?
But what if
So
you never went
makeup.
to an interest meeting?
You know,
Well, you
that's
saw
not
them people
your jam.
stand in line trying to go
Not
into
all
the
the
interest
time.
meeting.
You got to be specific.
So I'm talking about a Greek letter organization, Pan-Hellenic Council interest meeting. You see them people standing there, and you see everybody was wearing black and white, and they either had flats or they look like
Ushers.
the picture exactly. They look like ushers because they knew how to go. But it's crazy to me because people will go to these events.
Yes.
I mean, they be dressed bright, dressed sharp, but then they go to an interview, and you're like,
They
"What are you
didn't.
doing?"
And it does not matter where you're interviewing. You should always. and
Always.
You said flats and heels. 3-inch heels are nothing
Kittens.
to laugh about. Kitten
Right.
heels are nothing to laugh about. Like
They
you
get the
stay-
job done.
Do not be the person that falls going into the
Please.
interview. And hair color, if you could like stay away from your bright red wig that day or your blue wig that day, you know.
But you know what? A lot of places before you can always look on Glassdoor. You can always look on different things that people will tell you. Like when I went in here, it was really smug or something like that. But also you can like today we have Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can actually put in the place that you're going to interview, put in the location of it, and see how people are dressed there. Now, that maybe after they already got into the door,
Yes.
but some people will even post a picture, have an interview here today, which I think is weird. But, see, what people are doing.
Right.
Search the hashtag.
Right. Because the goal is to
use
get into the
those
door.
resources,
You can
right.
always talk to us in the career center.
Right,
We would tell
right.
you yes or no.
Right.
I believe in being completely honest.
Right, right.
And students come in here all the time. Like, is this okay? You know, and we have, like, even to us, if they're busy for whatever, we don't have a problem
Right.
saying, okay, let's cover this up.
Right.
Let's put this away.
Mm-hmm.
They used to say you have to wear stockings in a bun.
Please
you
don't.
have to do that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with wearing stockings. It's
I
cold
don't-
outside.
As a Caribbean girl, I know what it
You
feels
had
like
to have a
feel
good
like.
pair of stockings, a
Who,
slip,
me?
all them
We
things you had to have
Southern.
growing
You
up.
wear you.
They're
Yes.
Southern. I'm
We are
Caribbean.
very
I am
Southern.
not
You wear
putting.
stockings, control top at that.
Yep.
I'm not wearing no stockings. I'm just not gonna do that. But you know what?
Then wear a pantsuit. But if
Yeah.
you're wearing
Yes.
a
That's
dress,
always an option.
Yes.
a pantsuit,
Cover them
a very
legs
nice
up.
Pantsuit is always an option.
Now
However,
remember we had a conversation too. Like you said, a slip. But if you're wearing black, I mean, I'm not sure what you need a slip for. But but
You need it in your toolbox.
but a girdle.
Everybody needs a
a
So
slip.
if you
girdle
know
is a real thing.
that you have
Yes.
some things that move a little bit. I don't
It
like
should
to
not
wear them.
move.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I have a story where
Because I ain't
my best
We
friend.
gotta
No,
tell you,
you're
right.
My best
But your
friend
clothes
with-
shouldn't be tight enough to where we seeing everything move too.
We should
Right,
see the
right.
imprint, the flower imprint of your girdle though, because I don't know why they put flower imprints on the girdles. I did not know why they did.
Jill would say that.
But
Did you
no,
get
but
that?
it's for real. Or you can get, so that's
Yeah.
one thing you could do though. So people are getting graduation gifts and they're like, what you want, what you need. I'm gonna give you a gift card here. Get you a gift card to Macy's so you can get the Spanx one, the one that costs a lot of money, or they can have them buy you one.
Amazon got a better one, y'all.
Or-
I ain't even gonna lie.
We're gonna put the link in between here.
Oh,
Okay.
they not. Y'all gotta pay me if I.
No, because you can put it in your Amazon store. You can
Okay,
create an
yes,
Amazon store.
I will create an Amazon store, but they do have one that is better. But
But yeah, like an adult starter kit, you need a girdle,
Yes.
you do need
a string of pearls.
stockings.
Yep.
If you, I'm just saying, in
A
the
nice
South we
suit.
wear stockings. I'm not really big on slips, but if you could, I'm gonna tell you
Just
about the
have
light
it, yeah.
test. Turn your flash on and take a picture. And if you can see through your clothes, you need a
You
slip
see-
on.
yeah, you need
You
something.
need to change.
Or you need to change. But if those are some tricks that nobody will tell you unless you know you were raised that way.
Right.
No body con.
I was raised, but
Nobody, yes. Okay,
no
ladies.
violence.
Just because it is a black dress does not mean it is the
It's
black
not.
dress
That's
for
true.
the interview.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
no
nobody
body cons.
It should not be skin tight. Oh,
yes,
and
no.
I mean, Mr. Williams ain't gonna say this either. We said
I
something about
can't
space,
see
but
it.
make sure you have on a good bra.
Yes.
Because what you don't want is this,
your-
like you said, you don't want to
your
distract.
cup
So you don't
running
want
over.
you don't want your cup running over because that's distracting.
Spilling milk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, or tea, whatever. But you know what?
Hey, that's something I can't say. They're doing a good job.
But
taking care of that.
that's not what.
Well, do you have any do's and don'ts?
Even for men, though.
Right,
Now,
do's
they
and
like to
don'ts
wear
for
these
men.
tight pants.
I wanna get on that.
Okay, go ahead.
For
Do's and
men,
don'ts for men.
Be curious of your hair. Some just don't like to cut your hair, and your hair looks terrible. I'm just gonna be honest about it.
Oh, gee.
Well, that's
So they're having this argument about the locks thing.
I actually had a conversation with one of my friends about that. It just depends on the area. Some areas are more open to it than others. You have to know the area that you're going into.
Okay.
What about the beard thing?
Yes, beard. You have to be shaped up in your beard. Don't go in there with your beard looking like you just walked out the house. So, yes, please don't do that. You should be very well kept in your face. The way you carry yourself as a man, you have to carry yourself as a man. We want to know that you are running the room. You come in there and let your personality show. This goes for the females too as well. When you walk into the room, you want them to know, I am the person for this position, and I ain't leaving here today unless you give me a job. So your attitude
Don't be combative. Don't be assertive.
Well, I don't want you to go there and run the room. I don't want you to go there and run the room, but I do want you to be confident. I want you to go in there and let them know that, hey,
yeah.
This is
But
what
I like
I bring
the
to the
energy.
table.
Yes,
This is what you bring to the table.
I ain't gonna say it, but should you wear a t-shirt? How do we feel about t-shirts? Y'all know underclothes are important.
Yes, underclothes.
Yeah, what are the rules for guys in undershirts and dress shirts? Like, how does that between
Are you
a
supposed
t-shirt
to
or a
know
white
it?
beater?
I mean, when you wearing a suit anyway, you're not really going to see the. I mean, especially when you're wearing a jacket, you're not really going to see the undershirt. So, me personally, I wear a regular undershirt. I'm not going to wear a white beat up under that because they can see that. I don't want them to see my anything. Especially, like she said, if you look in the mirror and you're taking a picture and you see it, take it off. So, please take it off.
I got a question about tattoos.
Okay, tattoos. Depending on the area,
I know
you don't want it to show. You don't want to let them see that you hit. Now, once you get in there, if you want to have a sleeve up, you want to have it all on your forehead and back head, it depends on the area and what you want to do. But please make sure that you keep your stuff covered up as you walk in.
Okay. So, I can't think. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be laughing because this is a serious topic.
It is a serious topic, and I do apologize for my part in it. So we talked about tattoos. We talked about how you should
Piercings. That's something, because like some people will say, you gonna go in there with your nose ring? I forgot I got it in. They probably will too. Because honestly, it's so small. But then I know some people wear the hook into me, or they'll wear
You could just
the
lift it up
septum.
though. You could just lift it.
Septum, yeah, but there's
one.
one people wear with their nose right here. And I'll say, can you change it, or run by the piercing shop and see if they'll change it. Let them know you have an interview and then see if they can change it out for you. But
And they have a clear one too.
Yeah.
That's not noticeable.
I don't know about tongue rings. I have been in interviews and I've been thrown off by tongue rings.
I say if you're going to do that, I mean, hey, you do what you do, but as long as you have a clear one where it's not noticeable.
Yeah, they
don't
do
make
have
it
the tongue color ones.
Yeah. So don't make it noticeable where they look in your mouth. They really paying attention to what's in your mouth because you out there.
We've said if it distracts you, don't do it.
If it distracts you, you don't
Tongue
do it.
color rings?
Yeah.
It's a little flat thing. I used to have I was like 16 with a tongue ring.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it, but
Questions?
but it was flat. You can put it.
You can't do that. Okay, whatever.
Just remember that you're putting yourself in front of them, and at the end of the day, you're trying to get into the company. They are already there. So you already walked in the door. They looked at your resume and say, hey, we want to bring this person in for this interview. So now it's time for you to show them why should they bring you there.
So let me ask you this. My name
She is getting ready to
is
get
Alesheia Baccous.
Okay.
I can feel it.
It's Alesheia.
Okay.
My last name, Baccous, the way the white people spell it. In France, what's that? Some people change their name. They put A Baccous, or they may put Alesheia, Alicia, on their resume. How do you feel about people with ethnic names or ethnically spelled names?
That's a hard one to touch. I don't know
that kind of is a hard one to touch. I mean, you can't change your name, but so much as when they ask for your birth certificate and stuff like that. I mean, when your social security card. Your social security card. My bad. So when they ask for your social security card, it's still gonna be right there. Your name's gonna be.
But you already got the job at that point,
right?
Yes. So yeah, because I know that I had read as well that some people would change their names just so it would make people feel like they're vanilla.
Yes.
Or like, and when I say vanilla, I mean like.
Plain.
Plain.
If your name is too ethnic, I could see some industry saying, no, or, so, I mean,
but is that the company you don't want to be at, though?
That's a question.
I say yes and no, because, again, you still, any company you go to, you're still going to have things you're going to have to face and things you're going to have to deal with. I mean, when it comes down to names, But, and it really just depends. So, my name is Jillian. So... But I signed my name Jillian Jackson. I've always done it like in a professional setting. And it's not that, you can look and say, I wonder what Jillian is. My name is pretty, it goes both ways. It's pretty fluid.
Jill. I gotta be honest.
I know more white Jills than I know black.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you, if I would have never knew of you, if I would have been like, let me look her up on Facebook. That's another thing. Social media.
Oh,
yes. Can we talk about
Right. Okay, so social media is important. I've sat down and had a conversation with Ms. Hedgebath about this very thing. And even when I was going through the interview process here, after I sat down and talked to her after I got here, she told me about how she went through all my stuff. And so, yes, they are going through your social media pages. So, if you are getting into those cat fights on Facebook or those other, please
take it down.
Yes, please take it down.
Or lock your page down.
Yes.
Or don't do it.
Period.
You don't do it.
Yes.
Or lock it down, because I have seen where people have been downtown at this little thing, the festival. And the person said they recognized that person from an interview that they had with them. They were so glad they never hired them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what about people who have a professional and then a personal social media
burner page?
Yeah.
Well, I would say the one that you have, like for me. I get in groups, and it's a little different than being on my personal page. Because on my personal page, I put certain things on personal page. I want to do something motivating, do something educational. It's just news-wise and things like that. Now, in a group, hey, it might be a little bit different. But, those are closed groups that I'm necessarily in. But I would never on my personal page put anything like that.
Right.
But also, as well, LinkedIn. Please make sure you guys are using LinkedIn, because it is very important to make sure you have those.
Go to my LinkedIn page.
Yes, and you have it on your resume and let them know, hey, come search my page. But social media is very important. As you can see, we have people that's out here that's saying all these crazy things, and they're getting fired because of that. One thing that I even said on my social media page a couple of weeks ago: if you do not know your company's social media policy, you might want to look into it, because you don't want to be fired or let go because of something you did or something you said that happened.
We are canceling culture now.
Okay, you better believe it. And Twitter moves fast.
And they don't want to be.
Hello,
they will find out where. But listen, because they have the image search. So if you out there acting a fool, they will take your picture, put it up on Google, because they do the image search, and they'll be like, this her name, this her, this where she lives, her phone number, all of this stuff. And it's not hard. So if you're registered to vote in the state of North Carolina, it tells all your business.
Yes,
just want to let you know that.
And nothing on, it never goes away. Like stuff on social media never goes away.
Never.
I remember when I was my senior year of college, I went on my social media page, and I took down all my party pics. Like, I took down all my party pics. Yes. I was like, if I really need them, I'll save them on a computer or something like that. But I took them all down because I just really did a deep dive and deep scrub of my page. I didn't care how far back it was, because I never wanted it to come up in conversation.
So I actually, when I was a teacher, I actually had a former teacher that I worked with that she actually had party pictures on her page, and her parents saw it.
Yeah. And
so they end up bringing it up to the principal, and then they pretty much made a big deal of it, even going up to the school board, and the girl ended up getting fired.
Yeah, I have a story where she said that she's a model, and there was a suggestive picture, and they found it, and they brought it up, and luckily, though, her principal stood by her, like, look, everybody has a life before here.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing, what you don't do, this is how they made a lesson out of it, a teaching moment out of it. But she is kind of tied to that school now, because she does not know how any other place will react, or if it comes up again, what's going to happen. And I think that's the, you don't want to have to be bound to a place, especially as post millennials, because y'all are not millennials. Some of you
Gen
may be.
Z.
Gen Z. You know,
Y'all film everything sometimes.
everything.
Everything.
Y'all
Yes.
film everything.
Because y'all feel like y'all really gonna tell. Yeah, everybody else gonna get in trouble but me. So, moving on.
No,
I have a question because since y'all brought up millennials and Gen Z, I had a conversation with a friend who was talking about the way that we are shifting from staying at companies for decades to job
that's another
hunting.
conversation
Yeah,
too.
what do you think
Yes.
about that?
I say like this here. Every 3 to 5 years, you should be having some kind of growth. You should be doing something different, getting some kind of certification, getting some kind of work development things. You should be making some kind of move in 3 to 5 years. I admire the young people today because again they don't stay in jobs long time and they're not happy. And that's the thing. A lot of times, with our grandpas and grandmothers, things like that, they stayed in jobs because that's what they had to do. And right now, you can get into something that you want to do. You don't necessarily have to stay. If you're not happy, hey, you want to find something that you want to be happy with. And again, at the end of the day, what I tell students is that when you find a job, you were looking for a career. Something that you can make money in and that you can enjoy doing it. Like for instance, I love being in education. That's the reason why I decided to get into education and give my knowledge of things that I've learned throughout the years. And even though, hey, it is work, but I still enjoy doing it, helping these young people figure out what they want to do. So you have to go to work every day and enjoy what you do. If you dread going to work every day, you might want to rethink your decision.
Agreed.
I agree. I think that companies, they have to be realistic as well. Every 3 to 5 years, they're changing. If you realize that when I think back about as far as corporate thinking, every 3 to 5 years, there was either a reorg or there was a layoff or there was something that they dropped as far as like when I worked in corporate, I worked at Freddie Mac, they were offering closing costs on your house. They were offering a pension. 3 years in, they said, we're no longer offering a pension, we're no longer offering closing costs. So it was like, okay, so what do I want to do now? Should I be moving? Should I be growing? But even then, working here in education, higher ed, we do a strategic plan every 3 to 5 years. So personally, if an organization does a strategic plan every 3 to 5 years, then why should we as employees, as people, not be doing a strategic plan as well, recalibrating in our lives to say, okay, what needs to stay, what needs to go, do I need to go?
And that goes back to your, when I was
2, 4,
saying the
5.
2, 5, and 10 years, and what you want to necessarily do. When I worked in education, I say within 5 years we have to do some kind of professional development. We had to go to some kind of conference. We had to go to some kind of workshop. You should be doing this, especially all those tech peoples. Being right now in the RTP area, I tell so many computer science folks, man, y'all are in a dream area right now, especially for those biology majors right now. We are in the RTP area, and there's so many big companies that's moving here, so many tech companies that's moving here. You guys have a great dream here, and so you guys got to take advantage of the things that you have in front of you. So in the RTP area, we have so many great things here that's coming to this area. All the electronics, we have all the healthcare things. You got the big schools here like Duke and Carolina.
And Shaw.
Healthcare stuff.
Oh, okay. Healthcare stuff. We attacked you. We apologize. Don't shoot back. We sorry.
Healthcare, y'all. Yeah. Yes. We have great institution here.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot of great things here in this area, and the things that's coming to this area. This area is growing, it's booming. The housing market is getting
Booming. I'm bucking.
crazy. Yeah, so we got a lot going on in this area that you guys can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Okay, so say I have my resume together and you look over it and it does not look good. What would be your top? What should be on it, and what's your top 3 things that you would just? I'm looking for this, this, and this.
Well, I probably would look at it and probably rip it up. That's the plan.
Any shot.
They can bleed a little with red ink.
No, but the first thing is just making sure that it looks aesthetic all the way down. Making sure that you have a strong objective, stating what you have done and what you're planning to do in the future. Make sure you talk about all the great things that you've done. Some people don't have like specific skills that's towards the area they have, but what job skills do you have? So many jobs are looking for transferable skills, and also are you coachable? You can always, write a few things in there to kind of work your way in there, to kind of working in there. So just making sure that you talk about all the great things that you've done. So those clubs or organizations that are here on campus, I'm gonna need y'all to join those.
Please and thank you.
Yes, because clubs or organizations give you the opportunity to put things on your resume. You can go to conferences.
Leadership.
Yes, you can go to conferences. You can go to different things here on campus. I've talked to a lot of students that have not done nothing in the 4 years they've been here.
Oh, the funny thing is we've been talking to a lot of students here lately, and the thing that they have said is they wish they would have done more. Yes. So my thing is, what is stopping you? Yes. Don't wait until that last week before you graduate talking about, I wish I could have, would have, should have, did have.
And you definitely don't want your resume to just be a blank piece of paper. So you have to have those things. I want to say all my honor societies and everything was on my
anytime
resume.
I did something, I added it.
Right. And something else to think about, a lot of people don't think about, is volunteering.
Yeah.
So in your field, I actually had a student that used to volunteer every summer at a clinic that he worked in, and they actually helped him find a job after he graduated.
Absolutely.
Because he was volunteering every summer. He showed the initiative to get it done.
Yeah.
Volunteering also helps you get that extra help that you may not have gotten through internships or other things that you've been working in your field. And also it gives you that networking opportunity, because you can say, hey, we've been doing this for 4 years now, what you got for me?
Then also, if you need a portfolio, right? You're in a field where you need a portfolio. Forsake not Fiverr.com. So Fiverr gives you the opportunity to complete or do things for a project for people who are in need of them, and they'll pay you for it. So a lot of times you may be able to ask them, hey, I've done this work, I'm a student, can I use this to add to my portfolio, or can I use you as a reference? So you'll be able to use Fiverr to get the experience that you need. Fiverr is basically saying that the base of the pay is $5 per hour, or $5 or something, but it goes up from there.
Fiverr.
Yeah.
Fiverr. So we'll put that down below. How to
And
spell
another
it.
thing too as well, I actually have a student I mentor, and he's in engineering, and so what I told him to do is try to find at least 5 different companies that he's looking into that might be interested, because he wants to stay here in this area. He's originally from, I think, California. And he wants to stay here in this area. So what I told him to do is find 5 different companies. And in that 5 companies, hey, you can start looking at people that's in those companies right now. And you can start sending those emails saying, hey, my name is, this is what I do. This is what I want to do. I'm looking for a mentor.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Pictures on resumes.
Oh, no.
It's against the law.
Well, I have been as we are hiring and looking at resumes, I have seen more and more people putting their picture on their resume.
And it's against, first of all, it's actually against the law to...
I think it's the EEOC.
Yeah, the EEOC, because technically the people are looking at you, and they may make a decision based off of how you look.
Yes.
And they may say, no, we don't we don't want those kind around here. Or they can say, we're not looking really for a female in this position, or we're not looking for a male. Or maybe even, with the identity that people have nowadays, they can say, this don't look like the other. And say, you don't want that, right? It's enough. It should be enough. It shouldn't matter how you look, really. Can you do the job, right? So, I mean, you might think you cute, but everybody else might not think you cute. So,
Okay.
I
would never do that, and I agree with everything she just said on that. Yes, you never put yourself out there, because, again, you have the opportunity for discrimination, because, again, they could be for you or they could be against you, and you don't want to put that out there already.
Yeah, you don't know who the hiring manager, the recruiter, what's the person who looks at the talent advisor, the person who's reading through the resumes or whatever. Even then, it's when we look at the resumes, I can tell you, the picture when it pops up on the screen, I'm always like, okay. But I'm really just looking like, okay, I want to see what can they do? What do they know? I don't really care what you look like.
Y'all remember the Cornell notes?
Yes.
The little Cornell notes that you used to have to take. I've seen a lot of resumes that look like that now.
I've seen them with pie charts on them now. I've seen them in color.
Pie charts on resume?
I've seen, in
I think mine I have 2 versions. I think one of mine, it looks like Cornell notes.
Yes, and I've heard like a lot of, not older, I'm not going to say older, more seasoned employers don't like that.
Well, I think that seasoned people are also retiring too.
Yes, we are. And there's still a lot of older people
Oh,
still
we
in
are.
charge.
You ain't seasoned?
I don't believe
I think it's important where
we fall in that gray area.
I don't care what y'all say. I'm young.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm young adult.
I feel like I'm in the
My
young
knees
adult. I don't know about that.
Your knees.
My knees said.
But yeah, you are still you still have a lot of older, folks that are still in charge to us.
Yeah.
I mean, we are getting some younger people that's in there, but right now you still have to appeal to everyone.
So should you have different versions of your resume?
Yes, I would have different versions of the resume because it depends also what you're looking for too as well. You want to make sure that you tailor your resume towards the specific area that you are looking for.
So let me ask you, is PDF or Word?
I like to do PDF, but you can do Word too as well. One thing I had no students saying, you said, how do you do?
Why do you like to do PDF?
So you whispering.
I'm working on my ASMRs or whatever it's called.
PDF, so again, nobody can make changes on it.
Yes.
I can send you directly. I can send it directly to you. It's Word document. Now, one thing I have seen, I've had a student to send me a resume. They send it through what's the Chrome?
Google Docs.
Through Chrome.
Google Docs. Yeah, don't do
Please
that.
make sure that you save it as a Word document or save it as a PDF as you're sending it because you do not want the employer to try to have to. Well, when they sent it to me, I had to get access in order to get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I have to get access, why am I looking at your resume? I'm going to go into one that I have access to.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for no reason.
Do not make it hard for them to get to your stuff. I mean, you want to make it simple because, again, you're presenting yourself to them. They have the job.
Ooh, some of the best advice I have ever gotten was to go ahead and send them my references. Because if they want to hire me and they want to, move on with the process, like if they need someone now, by them already having my references, they can go ahead and call and do what they need to do. So
should you add your references to your resume?
I do not add references to the resume, but I do have a separate sheet prepared so when it's ready. But one thing that I do want to throw out there that people should do definitely on your resume is you have to show your personality in your resume. Again, they have 30 seconds that they're looking at your resume. So they're looking from top to bottom, just making sure everything is aesthetic, making sure that you have everything that you have available. You have to this is an opportunity for you to brag and let them know why should they hire you.
But it's not the interview.
Yeah, it's not
So
interview.
I've seen resumes that are like 99
don't
pages
send me no
long.
5-page resume. I'm
Please
looking
don't
at
Like,
send
dang,
no
this a
5 pages.
dissertation too?
Ideal length.
Yes.
1 to 2
pages.
pages.
I say 1 page,
One
maybe
page.
2 pages, just depending on how much experience you have.
So let's just say we're our age. We're not seasoned, but we're young.
But we've
We
been
start-
working a
we
while.
still-
Yeah, right. We're working a while.
So we have
And
a
we're
little bit
changing
more work
every 3 to 5
experience. Right.
years.
Right.
So let's just say how long should because there are some alumni who may be watching.
So it still might be about at least, I say about 2, maybe 3. Maybe 3, just depending on how much work experience you have. Remember, you still want to tailor your resume towards the work experience that you have that's going towards the job that you are looking for.
So you should start removing stuff after because now when I send out my resume, I don't have that I worked at the movie theater and at McDonald's and college because one is not relevant to the job that I'm applying to, but at the same time, it's expired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once you start getting work experience, you still want to tailor it towards the jobs that you had that's going to be going towards the things you have. So I actually looked at my brother's resume, and he has stuff like that on there. And I said, "Sir, you have work experience. What you doing?" So please make sure that you talk about your work experience. And he was like, "Well, I want you to tell them everything I did when you talk about it in your interview." So, So
let me ask you this. So there's on the interviews. On the application, ask about disabilities, veteran status, and also your race and your gender. So some people do or do not fill it out, especially with the disabilities thing. My thing is, if someone has PTSD or diabetes or something of that nature, right? They put it on there, but they feel like, oh, it's not going to let me get the job. Do you bring it up at the interview as well, or do you wait until you get the job and you tell someone, hey, look, or even in the black community, some people may have sickle cell. Sickle cell is a disease that may pop up at nowhere, and, you can't come in, or you have to work from home that day or something. So what do you suggest to people?
Well, on my application, I'm a diabetic myself. So so on my application, I kind of say that I do kind of have a disability. Now, I may not ask during the interview anything about it, but once I get the job, I am saying, hey, I am a diabetic. Hey, these are my complications. This is what I have going on. To be honest, I hate that they have the race and things on the applications, but I know it's necessary. You can fill it out, or sometimes you cannot fill it out. I don't think it should count against you, but
is it I wonder, do employers be like, I wonder why they didn't fill it out?
Right. The one, some of them are optional. Does it look at?
It's some people that still, don't fill it out.
Yeah, because you can choose. I choose not to identify.
Yes. You can, yes.
And so
you want to be known by what you bring to the table, not what you.
When I do credit applications, I don't do it because I don't think it should make a difference.
It should make.
And I do know that they do judge credit based off of it, even though they say that they don't, because I worked in that field.
They do.
So do they judge based off the people who don't identify?
What do you mean? In the credit field? Mm-hmm. They don't have nothing to make the choice off of.
Yeah, you can't make the choice off of it, right?
But so I think that we get lower. I know that we get lower rates or more risky rates as African American.
Okay.
Yeah, but
that's
anyway.
Credit and finance. We're gonna talk about that later. We're not even gonna get into that.
I have a question though. When you go into an interview now, it say tell us about yourself. What are they looking for?
So this is the thing that I talk to a lot of students about now, and I'm actually getting them to do it as I do my mock interviews with them. And so I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna give you guys an example of how I would do it, and then I name the things that you need. So, hello, thank you so much for meeting with me today. My name is David Williams. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a graduate of Elizabeth City State University with a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education. I am currently getting a Master's of Public Administration from North Carolina Central University. I have 10 years of experience as a music educator between North Carolina and Virginia. I have 7 years of experience working in undergraduate admissions, working with first-time freshmen and also older adults looking to get their bachelor's degree. I'm currently the career advisor here at Shaw University. I bring a wealth of knowledge, working from students all the way from middle school all the way up to the collegiate level, and I look forward to presenting myself to you guys. So,
you rehearsed it?
And sing. No. No. I mean, because I'm so used to saying it, and it's just.
It just summed up your whole resume. But
I didn't hear you say anything personal.
Right.
I'm talking strictly professional. So when these things, so like I was talking to when I tell my students when I'm talking with them, especially doing mock interviews. So I had a guy I was talking to on a flight one time, and he literally was asking me these questions. And he was literally interviewing me. And I didn't realize until he said, hey, do you want to come work for me? And I was like, I'm in my job right now, but I did keep his information for, again, networking opportunities. But, so the things that you should always tell them, I always restate my name. I always say where I'm from because, again, I always start a conversation piece. Also, my educational background, my schools that I went to, my degrees that I have. Also, my professional background may not be specific in the career that you're trying to get into, but do you have any work experience? Do you bring any skills? And also, what do you bring to the table too as well? They want to know, well, why should we hire you? So before you even get a chance to ask me any of those questions, when I throw those out at interviews, a lot of times it's like, wow, so that's going on for other questions. Because it's like, pretty much, I don't need to ask you that because you just gave it to me.
Right, and they still might ask you to make sure your stuff is
he had it ready to go.
Okay, and I think that so before we start wrapping up, ignore her. Those mock interviews you spoke of are so important. So I was telling somebody earlier today that before I applied for my job here, like as a teacher, when I went to go, I didn't have to practice as much. It's what I did. It's what I breathe. It's like you could throw anything. I ain't got to really prepare for this. I know what I can do. Here's my data. This is what I am. But when you're going into these things, you have to have a mock interview. You should practice your responses. Like I write out my responses. I look at general questions. I look at the job descriptions, what things they might ask me, and then I reach out to somebody like from a career center, somebody who does that, who does interviews all the time, and I say, hey, I'm sending you a job description. This is the job I'm applying for. Come up with some questions for me. And let's practice. And I think I did it 3 times before I even actually went to my interview, just so I was comfortable and I wasn't doing the, or I didn't know what I was talking about.
So this is the thing, too, as well, as I tell students, sometimes you get uncomfortable talking about yourself. And then you get into the situation and you're kind of like, you're afraid, you're trying to figure out what to do. You can always take the moment to write down some of your things, too, as well, of some things that make you great. But not only that, I like to study my resume before I go in. I study the job description before I go in. So I'm getting myself prepared. If they call you, what's today, Monday? If they call you and say, we want you to come in next Tuesday, they're obviously telling you in advance for a reason.
Yes.
And so just making sure that you prepare all those great things that you bring to the table, definitely researching the company. Even if they don't ask you things, even if they don't ask you things about the company, you still need to say, hey, I see you guys got 10% this, or you guys can do a great job doing this. So
I think you should research, definitely. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Are there any questions when they get to that part where they say, do you have any questions for me? Is there any blanket question that you think people should ask.
You should always ask questions. This is the thing.
When do you want me to start?
Right.
No, I'm joking.
But that's me. When can I immediately? Tomorrow?
So this is the thing is that I tell students is that you should, the thing about it is, yes, they are asking you to come into that position, but you want to make sure that you feel comfortable going into this position. So you want to ask questions like, what is the culture of the company? What are my day-to-day operations? What is the biggest challenges that I'm facing in my position? Tell me things about the job. You want to know things about the company. You should always be
and
asking.
a manager
Should always feel like a conversation.
Because you don't want to have, excuse me, y'all. You never want to have somebody that you're working for and you kind of just didn't see, like, if you know that somebody's a bulldog and you prefer a managerial style, somebody who's a laissez-faire, laid back, and isn't like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I asked in the interview, what's your managerial style?
Yeah, I mean,
because
that.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, so who is the manager I'm working under? Because
that's how I thought about it.
That's how it sounded to me.
I always ask, so what is your managerial style, or what is the manager's managerial style? Because I know what I can work under. And if you are a micromanager, and some people know who they are, you know, they say, I would like to be involved with my team. There are buzzwords, just like they're listening for buzzwords. There are buzzwords where I know that you are a bulldog and you're not going to be riding my back all day. But also, I take notes during the interview too, right? So I'll take notes, or this ain't cheating. This is just called helping yourself. But if there's certain things about the job interview, as far as like they'll say certain programs or something of that nature, or something in the job description, I'll write it down on a notepad or a sticky note, and I'll put it on the screen or something, so that I'll be happy to say those words in the interview. But also, if I'm writing down answers to the questions that I've asked when I do my thank you letter, which you have to do a thank you letter.
Yes, send a thank you.
Send you a thank you.
I put those things in there so they know, number one, I'm listening. But I also have questions because in my field, I'm the person who goes between two groups of people, right? So what happens is they see like, oh, she's really a really good researcher, or she's inquisitive, so we know that she's not going to come back with some foolishness or something. So
and also some other things afterwards is to make sure that you, like you said, send a thank you email. But also you have to remember to be patient. There's so many other resumes they're looking at. There's so many other people that, just people they've interviewed and things. But the biggest thing for me is another thing that I give students when they come into my office is I have a interview evaluation sheet. So you get the opportunity to evaluate yourself. After we finish talking, tell me, how did you do here? How did you do here? Why did you feel like you did that? What can you do better? So you have to reflect after each one to kind of see what did you did wrong and how can I do better in the next one? Because, even though this one might have went well, if it didn't go well, what do you need to do to improve so next time you can be going well?
Well, I think that's like really, really good information. So what I hear is prepare for the interview. Make sure your resume is up to date. Make sure you look like you're supposed to look, and we went into really good detail about that. Run it back if you need to, right?
Run it back. Scrub your social media.
Scrub your social media. What to do during, right? What to do during the interview. What to do after the interview.
And be patient.
And just to be patient. So I think that's really good. If you wasn't ready, now you should be.
Or at least getting ready. You should be at least ready to either reach out to what is it, experiential learning or career services. Reach out to them and just feel, because at this point, like, you've seen us laugh, snot, and all this other stuff. So you should be able to feel comfortable enough to know that you can come in there and you can have a conversation. They're not gonna, push you off, or they're gonna go really in depth, because it's not just your success, right? It's the success of Shaw as a whole. If you want to say it's a success of your family, success of your town where you from, put on for your city 910 and all that other stuff, then go ahead,
And don't wait till you're a senior. These resources
do not
are
wait.
here.
Please do not wait.
I'm just saying. It's not the song, but
it's not the phone.
So thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for
Yes,
all these.
this was a great
gems. When you go in there and you don't hear, don't get mad. Take the critique, fix it, because all of this stuff is to help you. So until next week.
All right.
We out.
All right.
Appreciate it.